Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We are live.
What ho, what ho.
Good evening from Dublin.
How's things in Dublin today? What's your weather like in Dublin this right around now?
Weather is kind of normal, grey and miserable.
Oh, well, there you go.
What's the Guinness index? +2?
I've not had a pint of Guinness in weeks, and Sunday is scheduled to be my catch-up time.
Nice. Oh man, that sounds like fun.
That's hilarious. My day tomorrow is going to be finishing that friggin' patio fire deck thing. Finally.
Yeah, you'll be telling us that next year.
No, I'll be good. All I gotta do is wheelbarrow stones to the backyard all day. So that'll be my Saturday.
I haven't done that in years, actual real work, but I think there's something really therapeutic about that.
Dude, it is so therapeutic. There is nothing like the satisfaction that you get from like seeing progress on something, and you're working all day, but I actually get so many ideas and creative thoughts around business and everything else while I'm doing it. It's just, I've decided that I'm going to try to do a lot more of this kind of stuff. My wife was like, "Why don't you just pay somebody?" It's like, because this is therapeutic. It feels good. So
I'm going to be politically incorrect and go, it's man's work.
Well, it's funny because during the day while I'm working, she's been out there like moving some cinder blocks around and tamping the soil and leveling it a little bit for me. So she's pulling her work, but
she's your motivational coach. She's your motivational coach back there.
She's the correctional. She's the judge and jury.
5-minute break, Brad. That's it. Get back to work.
Exactly. So, Shaun, I know you didn't get a chance to do the DeFi thing, so we're gonna put that on hold and talk about some other things. Real quick,
I am actually really enthusiastic to try it. I've just
awesome.
I'm totally kind of wired up for next week. I've got some stuff on Tuesday, but other than that, I'm going to yield hunting. Or whatever you DeFiers do. Just this week has been stupid busy, so I didn't get a chance.
Understand completely. Well, we should do our piece of shit of the week. No surprise with this guy every few weeks. Craig writes, UK case against 16 Bitcoin developers go to full trial. Evidently, previously a court in the UK struck it down, but now they're allowing it to go forward. The claim alleges that the developers owe fiduciary duties and duties of care over their control of the Bitcoin network. I'm not sure what the hell he's suing them for. I don't quite understand the point. I don't know what the lawsuit is.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of an overreach to me, but this guy thrives on the attention. I guess it's going to start in early 2024. So there'll be plenty more motions filed between now and then.
I think so.
His play is that in his mind, the million Bitcoin and Satoshi wallets are his, and provably his in his warped mind, and hence the developers should release them to him.
Oh,
I think that's actually, if you put all the threads together, I think what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it says the action stemmed from Wright's claim that he owns billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin connected to the Mt. Gox hack. The wallet is connected to the hack that drained 800,000 Bitcoin from the world's then most popular exchange. Wright claims the keys to the wallet holding the Bitcoin were stolen from him last year.
Well, didn't he have plenty of time in those other court cases when they were asking him to prove he had the keys and he couldn't prove it? And now he's saying that they were stolen last year. So in 2022?
Yeah, wait, is this all against BSV?
Could be.
Roger Ver. So these aren't the actual core Bitcoin developers. Oh, developers of BTC, BCH, ABC, and BSV.
Because
So they all
Satoshi's coins would have received all of those anyway. Yeah. So as the chain splits, there'd be a million of each of the shit coins along the way to go with the a million of the real Bitcoins.
So this is going to come back to prove your shit again.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, in a way, I think that, he has had some interesting precedents, with the and again, to be 100% clear, okay, he's not fucking Satoshi. He's a psychopath. Right. Shaun's views, not the views of the show. Okay, come sue me, fucker. The gaining the copyright, and a lot of this comes down to, this is kind of a really interesting point about something that's truly decentralized like Bitcoin, because while it's difficult to attack, almost impossible to attack, it's almost as equally impossible to defend. So,
right, that does make total sense.
Who's defending against the copyright claim when there is no Bitcoin, incorporated, and so on and so on. So it's one of these consequences of when you get a dickhead like this who wants to play the legal game. He can, none of this is going anywhere. Yeah, no. Those 800,000 million Bitcoins, whatever, maybe one of the smaller chains. Well, good luck to him. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to get a million of the shit coins, then I don't really care. I'd be agnostic on it entirely. But again, this is one of the true kind of consequences of real decentralization, is that the defense is operated effectively by individuals on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
So when you see good people get attacked financially, and you look at Hoodle North and so on, okay, what you do see is that the efforts to help them financially with this stuff are community-based. And that's cool. Yeah. There's no cohesive defense strategy against something like this. And ultimately, if he wins, it doesn't mean anything, because he's still not getting the fucking coins.
Right. It says the lawyer's statement suggests that named developers could issue some unspecified form of code to allow right to gain control of the funds. How that would be executed is unclear, and whether any nodes would accept such a deployment is even less so. To do so would likely involve creating a forked coin, which, not unlike others before it, would be a different coin from Bitcoin. Right would then have to convince people to use it for it to have market value.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're talking about rolling back a transaction, so you would have to do a fork, and there's Bitcoin fork 5 million, and it's meaningless. Yeah, this is the flea on the back of an elephant biting. The elephant doesn't really give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just annoying.
Niblet says, whatever you DeFiers do, basically we look through other people's sofas for spare change that fell out of their pockets. Free money.
I love free money, dude. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I haven't done anything new in this space, since my shitcoining days back in the day. So I'm really looking forward to it. I even did set up a little algo to go off and generate me some S, so that I've got this at least feeling that when I lose it all,
it doesn't matter because you got it all for free. I love it.
I got it all for free. Yeah. So that's,
so you'll be releasing that.
Up to a billion, who knows?
You'll be releasing that code as open source, I guess, for the DeFi Lunch community.
No.
Oh, damn. Eamon says, how do you feel about NFTs on Bitcoin, Shaun?
I mean, this is, kind of Bitcoin talk of the week out in CT. I mean, I couldn't give a shit is the straight answer. Yeah, again, the protocol allows it, then it allows it. And if people don't want to have NFTs on it, you can modify your node and do that. And if enough people do that, it won't be on it. I mean, the whole point about Bitcoin consensus is it's bottom up. Yeah.
Right.
If the I don't know, 30,000, 100,000 nodes decide that they want to patch and fuck this off because they think it's spam, it's a free world. Let them do it, yeah.
Right. If they can get everybody to do it. That's what Luke Dash Jr., the the guy I consider one of the craziest devs in the community.
They're very crazy Bitcoin dev.
Yeah. He's done some rough code to block ordinals as spam. And then, did you see what Udi did yesterday?
No, go on. I love
it. He used Taproot. He used Taproot to put out 4 megabyte NFTs onto the chain.
Fair play to him. Like that, more fees for the miners. I'm fucking delighted. Like this
Exactly.
is one of these things. It's such a, and again, this comes to the mindset of Bitcoiners that everything is an attack vector. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that happens is an attack. And again, I don't disagree with that. But like, this is much ado about nothing. Yeah. I mean, so what? You know, if people are prepared to pay, you know, if this really takes off on Bitcoin, they're going to be paying an absolute fuck ton of transaction fees. Cool, whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
And if enough nodes don't want to run it, then that's how consensus works. The nodes go, actually, fuck this out, yeah. But it's not Udi or some fucking Christian fundamentalist developer who get a say.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good. Odie wrote, did you know Vincent van Gogh originally intended to publish The Starry Night on the Bitcoin blockchain? The Bitcoin maxis censored it, and he had to publish it on Ethereum instead. The rest is history.
Again, this is cheeky of Udi. I mean, nothing has been.
Yeah, he's just fucking with everybody.
He's, you know, this is such a storm in a teacup. It is entertaining. I didn't really delve into it. I just went, look, protocol allows it, then fine. Yeah, I mean, so be it. And a lot of the kind of Bitcoiners will, you know, which is not an invalid point, which is go, look, this is just spam, and you know, Bitcoin is money and blah blah blah. But the protocol allows it. So if enough people think that it shouldn't be allowed from the grassroots up, then it won't be allowed. It's literally that simple.
Yeah, there was this discussion back and forth with Luke Dash, which I thought was really hilarious. And of course, Udi screenshotted it. But basically, they're saying, dude, people are storing JPEGs. He's like, they're attacking Bitcoin, not using it. He said, can we agree they're creating valid Bitcoin transactions, right? No. And he said, laughing my ass off, then how are they included in blocks? He said, by lying and tricking the code, which I find
that's bullshit. I mean,
he's just making an ass of himself.
I mean,
it's like, if you don't like it, you want to call it spam and you want to get everyone to block it, knock yourself out. But you know,
but here's the key point about that. Okay. The people who make that decision are the people who are the node operators. So this guy can put out his code and go, look, here's a patch to a node or a new node that allows you to block these. And if the consensus of the, I don't know how many tens of thousands of node operators is to do that, okay, then it doesn't happen. Yeah?
Right.
And none of those node owners even need to own one Satoshi of Bitcoin to do that. All they need to do is run the node. So this is again, and I like both sides of it. You know, the Christian fundamentalist, you know, whackpot, is viewing it in the right way, which is this is an attack. I don't agree it's an attack, but everything that happens on Bitcoin should at some level be initially reviewed as an attack vector. And
well, there you go.
And then you get these debates, and then the people who are, and again, the funny thing is, it's not the miners and all this usual stuff. It's not the mining pools. It's the node operators. These people who are simply just running nodes, regardless of the amount or any Bitcoin they own, and they get to make the call on this. And if you want my opinion, nothing will happen. It'll just be, you get, you know, 2 to 3% of the node operators will go hard cornered, and the rest of it they'll just go whatever. Yeah. You want to load
Shizzy says having NFTs on Bitcoin is like having a toilet in the kitchen. It's cool sometimes, but it may stink. That's pretty good.
Getting clever there, Shizzy. Getting clever, man.
All right. So what's been going on this week, Shaun?
I've been, as has been noted, if you've been in the Telegram channel, getting more and more.
By the way, awesome conversations going on in the Telegram channel.
Yeah, it's really cool. And
thank you.
I was and because I'm unprepared and I didn't get my opportunity to go shitcoining, which I really, really wanted to do, I just wanted to again go back to some basics of like, this is hardcore basic TA, but I think I found a way to make this more real to people. So just from the point of view of these things, because all that I'm going to say is that price will reach certain levels where there's a decision. So, and at that decision, you can decide to take profit, take partial profit, long, short, whatever. But these decision points are not mysterious. Okay.
Right.
And I would argue that we're at a multi-decision point here. I have a view, and you can't. But again, I just wanted to demonstrate using replay why these decision points are important. But also, again, just to pick a couple of historical ones and go monthly top 2018, monthly bottom 2018. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Before the crash. And
right.
What you can see very clearly, even the COVID crash respected these levels. Okay. So the whole 2018, 2019.
That's a very interesting point. Yeah.
Yes. And so again, while you don't have to believe in TA, what I'm trying to do is to demonstrate that maybe you should look at these higher time frames when you're looking at your positions and going, when we reach these decision points, which are easy to find, I'm going to demonstrate how price actually is making a decision. And also that gives you the opportunity to make a decision. So all I'm going to do here, these are monthly candles, and I'm going to put in some very obvious monthly support and resistances. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you can go, look, we've got, this again, just looking left of the chart in real time. Okay. So these white ones are monthlies. You can see, and this is a really important point, that this month closed at this support resistance is meaningless right now until this candle closes. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But you can see again, respected. I'm now just going to switch the chart down into weeklies. Okay. And I'm going to add some additional. So the point I'm trying to make here is you can do this in multiple time frames. So the whites are the monthlies. Okay. I'm going to do, let's go yellows for the weeklies. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So again, like I'm doing nothing at all in any way complicated here, but you can simply see that we've got, these weekly candle points. Okay. And now I'm going to go to a 4-hour view. Okay. And I'm going to demonstrate that these decision points have relevance. So obviously they're noisy, but again, if you zoom out, you can see that the monthlies are at the correct level, the weeklies are at the correct level, and so on. But now I'm going to go down to 4 hours and go, is my proposition that these are important, demonstrably provable? And the beauty is that on TradingView, we have this replay function. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, and again, remember, all of these support and resistances are from the historical, just monthlies and weeklies. So whites monthlies, yellows weeklies. And I'm going to let this play at 10x speed. And let's see what happens to price as it hits decision points.
Nice.
Okay. So this is just replaying the price action, the pump that all the bulls are loving. Okay. And again, white are monthlies, yellows are. Now, look at this. Okay. You see the way that all of a sudden we hit this level and we're beginning to make decisions. We hit the monthly, we're beginning to make decisions. We spike the weekly and we go down. So this is kind of a great way for people to go, look, the fact that a decision had to be made here was clearly evident in the price action. Yeah.
Right.
The price stopped and we fucked around between these weeklies and monthlies. And exactly the same, you can see almost to the dollar on the monthly, we started going to decision-making mode, and we spiked the weekly level almost perfectly. And in fact, this is Bitstamp data, so it's slightly out of whack. But this again is why I think that when people are looking at their positions relative to price motion, it's really not that complicated
Yeah.
Okay, for anybody to draw these lines and say, look, when price reaches these important levels, you get an opportunity to make a decision and make an adjustment. Because otherwise, how are you setting your targets? If you're long here and you think this is going to run to the moon, okay, and I'm not saying you're wrong, price will reach points of decisions, and let's say that you're sitting here going, look, I'm longing this to 35,000. Okay, maybe 35,000 isn't the number. Maybe 31,600 is. And by simply putting these levels in and using replay, you can begin to see how important these levels are technically. Again, at the micro level detail, and just to replay it, it's not. It's not rocket science. These levels, for whatever reason that you believe, doesn't really matter, are decision points, because you can see the price begins to stop, think about it, gives you time, okay?
Right.
Thinking about it, still thinking about it, yeah, up to the next level, thinking about it, okay? And I think this is, again, what I would say to people, regardless of your view of the market, up, down, sideways, irrelevant, in that I think you really should zoom out the charts, pick these high level support and resistance zones, and look, and you can do this in replay. This is the other brilliant thing about TradingView. You can do this, on any bit of price history, and you can see how technical analysis, the foundation of technical analysis, is not just horseshit, yeah?
Right.
Because you can see the decisions getting made in real time.
So I should stop making decisions based on 24 being my lucky number.
Well, hey, dude, if 24 is your lucky number,
I'm just kidding.
I just got a brand new short in at 24, so it could be my lucky number.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm now going to do something that's going to go, why am I such a mega fucking bear here? Okay. So
1 second. We have a quick question. We have Niblet says, hypothetically at a decision point, if you think BTC is headed down, is it strategically better to sell or to borrow against it?
Well, I would never borrow against my Bitcoin. Because
you'd never sell it.
If you think that price is going down, borrowing against it, your collateral is, that's the story of the bear market.
Yeah, you're twisting yourself up.
Liquidation.
If you wanted to borrow against Bitcoin, the safest time to borrow is at the bottom of the market, because as price rises, your margin is rising with it.
Sure. Euphoric says, what's the ultimate point when you can no longer move the goalposts and admit that the bull market has begun? There's a little bit of a backhand there. I think my mother-in-law wrote this message.
Like she insulted. Can I explain that in micro detail? Okay.
Sure.
So I'm going to explain that in micro detail, why I think that the bulls are going to get their balls ripped off very soon, if you'll excuse the expression.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So and by the way, I want to be a bull. Yeah. Okay. So when you look at support and resistance, okay, if you're bullish here, you want to see resistance flipping to support. Yeah. Okay. Right. Or gaining levels, as we call it. So first of all, if we look at the monthly, and again, the new monthly candle is only valid at the end of the month, we can say that monthly we have gained nothing. Yeah. We have not gained the level. Okay. So that's strike one. Let's go down to weekly. Okay. And we can go weekly. We have not gained the level.
Right.
Strike two. Let's go down to daily. Okay. And go daily. We have not gained a level. Strike three. Let's go to 4 hour. Okay. 4 hour, and this is probably the most curious one. 4 hour, we are unable to gain a level. Okay, now, if you put this in context and say that we run up here and it's impressive, okay, for me to flip bullish, I need to see levels taking. And yet from 4 hour to monthly, all of these resistances are holding. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, you can see even on the 4 hour level, even though it will always be slightly noisier. Yes. We have an inability to take this level. We have an inability to take the daily level. We have an inability to take the weekly level, and we have been unable to take the monthly level. Okay. All of this with, good market news. Okay. What I would expect from Bitcoin is that when we get to these levels and the market is truly bullish, it just pushes this shit aside. Yeah.
Yeah. Breaks right through.
My caution is based primarily on these technicals that despite everything, and we're a week and a half, 10 days, 2 weeks at this level, we have been unable to capture we have been unable to flip any resistance into support in any time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And again, this is the point. We've reached this kind of higher level monthly resistance level. Price is going to decide. I could be wrong. Price can smash through, and if it does, then I'm bullish. Yeah. Okay. But I've now got to go. Okay. Monthly did exactly what I expected, which is it held. Now I have to zoom down into the weeklies. I think I posted during the week. I expect us to spike the weekly resistance and reject, which so far we have done. We formed very strong daily resistance, which we have been unable to take to yet. And we have formed very strong 4 hour resistance, which we have been unable to take. So I will change my view if we start flipping some of these resistances. The reason I haven't changed my view is because we have flipped none of these resistances to support at any time frame.
Right.
And that should be worrying to the bulls. And again, the reason for that little animation is to demonstrate how, and again, the historical view, how fundamentally important these decision points are. And the higher the time frame, the more important the decision. So I'm comfortably short here. I then again continue to look at other factors, and I'm going, here's the chop range, and the informed money is selling. This is not bullish.
Right.
It isn't.
No, absolutely not.
You see the whales are selling and the mega whales are selling. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we could go on further and they could start accumulating, in which case I'll adjust my view that we're preparing for a leg up. But I have absolutely no basis to be anything but bearish here now, and nothing that has happened in this range has in any way invalidated my bearish view, and everything that's happened to date continues to increase my confidence of the fact that this is a point of rejection. I will flip. I'm a very simple person. I'm not a natural bear. I'm a natural Bitcoin bull. Okay. Remembering that, basically I'm always in Bitcoin. I don't flip to cash. Yeah.
Right.
My personal net worth, and it's not some kind of thing. I'm a natural Bitcoin bull. I'm spot long, even though I have some very big short positions, I'm still way spot long. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not doing this out of some kind of, I'm doing it because as a trader, I have to ignore all the horse shit that goes out in CT and all of the emotion, the FOMO, and, the bears in disbelief and all this kind of stuff, and go, I focus on technicals. I'm a chartist, I'm a technical trader. And every technical aspect as we chop this range is telling me that by a significant probability that this is a strong rejection point. And again, at higher level technical analysis, I have been waiting for this level, as I've said before, to be tested for a year. Now, can I be wrong? Absolutely. Okay. But I will trade and position size and risk manage always when I enter a trade on the basis of what if I'm wrong. So if I'm wrong here, I'm kind of cool with it. Yeah. I just don't think I am, for all the reasons.
No. And nothing is pointing to you being wrong. Like absolutely nothing.
Hey, Shaun.
Price is the ultimate decider here. Yeah. I mean, I'll be wrong if we take these levels, And I'll be right if the bear market continues with some momentum in the next, 4 to 6 weeks.
Hey, Shaun, quick question. How is the death cross and, the 200-week, 50-week moving averages, how's that all looking right now?
Yeah, let me bring up a different chart here. Whoa, sorry, what the hell? I'm just going to bring up a different chart here, sorry. And we have some bets there for weekly close, just to be clear.
Nice.
So let me put on the moving averages, okay? So if we look at weekly, okay, we have this death cross. And again, as a fundamental premise, while Bitcoin is beneath the 200 weekly, which it has never been in its history until now, it's bearish. Okay, we have a death cross coming up. And as I kind of keep mentioning, price moving towards a death cross is not unusual. We can see it. Price doesn't have to touch it. Okay, price moving towards a death cross is kind of normal. Yeah.
Right.
And if you are bullish here, okay, understand that what you should be kind of afraid of are confluences of resistance. So when you see resistances cluster, it just makes it exponentially harder for price to go up. Yeah. So I would argue at a weekly level here, you've got basically 3 resistances all in the same zone. You've got clearly the weekly resistance, you've got the resistance of the 50, and you've got the resistance of the 200. I'm just urging caution. I'm not suggesting any course of action. I'm just saying, don't buy narratives in this game. Yeah. The one thing that changes sentiment in this game, and the only thing that changes sentiment, is price. Everybody was a fucking bear down here. Now everybody's a bull. Be careful. Okay. If we look at monthly, okay, you can see that we're being held at the 50 monthly moving average. Again, just strike that into the list of resistances that we're facing, and you begin to see that the technical resistance at this level is extreme. Now, if we take it, to answer Euphoric's question, I'm a fucking bull, because we've taken out some ridiculously strong resistance. Yeah. I also want to be clear.
That's a big move.
I'm smacking the long button. I think then even if we flip bullish, I have no doubt we'll visit the lows again. But I think structurally we've turned from bull to bear. But the range of technical resistance at every time frame, the informed money currently selling the level, and so on, should, from my point of view, if I'm not shorting this area here, I shouldn't be fucking trading. And I mean that. And also, I also go, look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, but like, this is such a high probability trade to me. If I'm afraid to make this because of all of the FOMO out on CT, I literally shouldn't be a trader, because this ticks every technical trader box to push the red button. And again, I'm not offering advice. This is how I trade, and so on. I would just say that the very least you should get from this is that, from a chartist standpoint, this is such a fundamental decision point this is a fundamental decision point in the market.
So
going into a bull market doesn't mean price going up. In the same way, I'm going to argue with you that we're still very firmly in a bear market, and price has just gone up 40%.
So Shaun, it basically, to punch through all those levels, those triple resistance, it takes something in the market to happen where people are buying that most people are unanticipating. And, those would have to be some type of, huge macro change or black swan-y type thing, or just a huge change in market sentiment for some unforecasted reason, right?
I would like to see the informed money accumulating. Now, we can stay here for another week or two and they can accumulate. They could you could argue they're just taking profit here and then they'll reaccumulate. But any up movement without accumulation is highly suspect. And All that we've done, again, verifiably in this range to date is distribute. So again, multiple technical resistances at every single time frame, and clear evidence of distribution to date. They can start to accumulate at the weekend. They can start to accumulate at any time. So I'll watch the data in real time and see if that modifies. But as a trader, if I'm not shorting this, I'm not a trader.
Got it.
Makes sense.
And I'm
Eamon
also,
said,
and again, and I need to be clear, I'm also entirely cool with being wrong. I'm sick of this bear market, as sick as everybody else. Yeah, I'd be quite happy to lose a few bucks being wrong here and just go, oh, it's over. Okay, I don't think it is.
No. I think Eamon said, weird, Brad, that fire chart is different than the one tweeted this morning. Keith tweeted on the MI account, and I think it was one with different volume percentiles set, so it showed different lines on chart. But that 25,000 line has been eaten away that you mentioned earlier, Eamon.
Hey, Shaun, one more question. Yeah, because it also is time, left to right. So I kind of saw that 25 drop off in the last couple of hours. But Shaun, what do you look at to measure whether people are accumulating versus distributing, let's say? Is it that right there? Okay, the bottom of the fire chart? Is that?
Yeah, so to explain this to people, so ignore the top for a minute. It's just prices and orders on the books. Yeah, so orders on the books, the brighter the color, and again, you can modify it and so on, just explain some of the differences. Yeah, so orders in the books. So what we can say here, down here, there's significant people with bids on it. Okay, and here we had significant people with asks who got filled. Okay, and we can see that if we zoom in, and so I go to daily, you can see that there's more ask liquidity than bid liquidity. Okay, but I would caution people about how they use that. What we have down in the bottom, which is the real genius of Fred and the MI guys, is that there's this thing called CVD, which is cumulative volume data, which is, if you look at you can watch the trade feed, who's buying and who's selling. You can't say who's buying and who's selling, but you can watch in real time the orders go through.
Order sizes.
Yeah, and what this does is this breaks it down by the order size. So if an order is between 1 and 10 million, okay, then it is in this brown, let me just turn off, just this brown thing. So this is the big money. Remember, 1 to 10 million in a single order, okay? So when it goes up, there's a buy. When it goes down, there's a sell, okay? So what you can see here is that these guys have been selling the movement up very clearly, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can look at the next order class, which is the 100 to 1 million. Again, that is 100 to 1 million per single order, and it's just the cumulative of all of them, buys and sells. So you can see these guys really did the pump, yeah, brought us up here. But since then, price is continuing to rise, but these guys are continuing to sell into the price rise. And that's a worrying thing, that when you see the larger money, or what I would term it as the informed money, selling against the price action. Okay, this is a sign that they're using the retail FOMO as exit liquidity. Yeah. So retail is buying into it. And again, let's say you look at retail. So you take red here. Yeah. Retail is pumping up in this range. And it seems to me that the more informed money is just using that to say, hey, you want to buy? I've fucking something I can sell you here. Yeah. So I think this is an incredibly useful tool, used right. The problem is a lot of people zoom in on the daily, and again, time frame is everything. Yeah. And they go, oh my God, there's a big whale selling, sell. No, time frame is everything in this business. Yeah. Let's look at larger trends. So we can see that we had some, indeed, if we go out to the 6 months, yeah, we can see that we had lots of accumulation here at the bottom. of these guys. Okay, so this price move up is not expected. Now we're just seeing them getting the fuck out. Okay, so time now this can go sideways and they can reaccumulate, but as of this, this evening, we have clear evidence of distribution in range under multiple resistance points at multiple time frames. So that's why I'm not a bull. It's not because I hate crypto. It's not because I hate Bitcoin. It's not because I don't want to be a bull. It's simply that the market has given me no reason to be bullish. And I don't give a fuck what retail do. Yeah, retail are grist to the mill. Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit how in fact, I would be more likely, if I did use sentiment as an indicator, I would be far more likely to trade against retail sentiment than to use it, than to trade with it.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
None of this is to say that we can't break up, but if we're sitting here next week and we're sitting at 25 to 30, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone saying, fuck that year and a half of misery of my life is over. Okay. And I'm going to tell you that we'll be able to look at these fire charts, and I'm going to tell you between here and there, we would have seen accumulation.
Right.
Excellent explanation. Thanks.
And again, if you are a chartist and you can ignore all the Fed speak and the talking heads and so on, okay, the technicals are not that difficult. What is very difficult is the mental game where everybody's screaming, bears wrecked, you'll never buy below 20K again and on. And I just go, look, I'll just fuck off the lot of you. Yeah. I mean, I don't need that. I get to determine when I'm a bull and a bear. It's my money. I get to click my buttons. I'm simply explaining to you guys why I'm a bear and that it's not an emotive decision. It is literally a technical decision.
Yeah, no, I love it because it's solid, and anybody else can replicate why and where you're making these decisions. So that's fantastic.
It's not complicated. You can massively overcomplicate anything in life, and fundamentally, technical analysis is practiced in a horrific way by virtually everybody who's publishing it on crypto Twitter, and because it's a static process, they're going to be right 50% of the time at least. Yeah,
right.
So you can build a following that way and so on, but it's really not difficult. Yeah, just fucking start with the monthly candles, click a few lines in the chart, leave them, flick to the weeklies, click a few lines in the charts, leave them, flick to the dailies, and so on down to your preferred time frame.
Yeah, and then like you said, then you look at, say the top of the fire charts, where all the bids and asks are, and you look at that range, and then you go look at the bottom, the CVD stuff, and see who is buying and who is selling. And you have to assume, I think, that the big wallets, the million to 10 million wallets, or I mean, not wallets, buys, that is informed money or smart money. They're in for a reason.
Again, because people will argue that, and I get it, and I go, yeah, well, that could be just some degen. And you're absolutely right. Some of these people who are making $10 million trades can be degens, but the market's a cruel mistress. Okay, people with those kind of wallets will eventually die, and they're not in those wallets. So it's Darwinistic in its basis that if you're still clicking buttons with $10 million, okay, you probably know what you're doing.
Good point. You survived.
And so by definition, being able to make those trade sizes means that you have demonstrated to the market over a sufficient period of time that you're not an idiot. Because if you are an idiot, you will get caught. Okay?
Yeah, you'll be in the red line soon.
Shizzy would like you to tell him when to buy.
I'm not going to tell anybody when to buy. Let's be clear. It really is. I will provide my analysis for exactly what it's worth is for free, and I'm simply whether I think we're going up and down is not relevant. I'm simply saying this is a way to think about the market. And so forget whether I'm a bull or a bear here, yeah? And just say, look, if you utilize these techniques, you might very well go, look, decision points, and you pick up a few things and go, look, yeah, I'm bullish here because, but I understand them at a decision point. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, look, the other thing to say that again, you know, bear porn. Okay. Who's buying the fucking thing? Okay. So here's the price of Bitcoin, and here's, you know, directly correlated. You can see at the top of the real top of the market, which was May. Okay. Institutions stopped buying. Okay. So if you think that this is the start of a run to an ATH, I think you're deluded, because nobody is buying. All we've got is trader retail games. Yeah. If this starts to tick up again, I'm going to go, cool. But guess the news. You know, and again, there's no surprises here. May was the top of the market. This is, you know, okay. They stopped buying here.
Yeah.
Again, think of what the informed money is doing and try to find ways to follow the informed money. And the informed money is just going, I'm not.
Yeah, and the informed money is also the controlling.
By the way, they're not selling in any scale as well. Yeah, that's so you know, like not to be, I'm not going to, you know, geez, it's all over, we're going to zero. I'm not like, you know, they just haven't done anything in nearly 2 years.
You know what's interesting there, Brad, too, is that, and Shaun, is that when we talk about, remember, like, you know, May of, I guess that was 21, and then it went down in the summer, and then we had that July where it ran, and then it ran up through Pumptober to November. And there's no, like, institutional buying there.
No,
it's
this
just all.
This is 100% a trader game. And you know, in MI, I think there was a small group of us who were looking at the data and going, like, this is literally just generating additional exit liquidity. And in fact, if I go to the fire charts on it, it becomes so apparent. Okay. So what you can see here at the real top, the whales got the fuck out. Yeah, you can just see this was the top, and they were just using any up movement here to get out. Yeah. So again, in any reasonable time frame, okay, we have neither on exchange informed money buying at scale to date, can change, or off exchange institutional money buying at scale. So this could run higher, and it's still not the bottom. So I'm going. It can switch structurally bullish. And if we take this level, I will say the structure of the bear market's over, but I still believe we haven't seen the bottom. And I know that sounds weird, but you can kind of see that this was what I considered the top of the market, even though we printed higher. Yeah. Because this is just a game. Yeah, this is just a trader game, and you know, to me, that, you know, in every way, you know, if you got out here, then you should just have not. A lot of this move just sucked in people who got out here, and then went and then took their money. So, you know, again, analytical thinking about the market instead of this emotional nightmare that the market is. Yeah, because I was on a Zoom call last night with some buddies, and like, you know, that they're you know, they're going, oh my God, I feel like I'm missing, you know, all these monster gains and so on. I'm going. That's, if you want the market to be a casino, it's happy to oblige. Treat it, or the way I treat it, is a game of chess. Yeah, slow is fast. Think it out. Look at how the pieces are moving. Take your time. Look at higher time frames. That's the way I trade. Look, that's not for everybody. Indeed, I'd imagine it's not for most people. But at least I'm just trying to give. And I'm certainly going. As I said, I'm a bear. I'm loading up shorts constantly here. That is not financial advice. I'm explaining why I'm thinking that way. I'm also explaining how I know I'm wrong. Yeah. The one thing that will prove me wrong here is price taking these levels. And I don't mean in a little 3-hour pump. I don't care. Price pumps up to 30K in 3 hours and dumps back down again. I'm just not worried.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the other advice, Shaun, that you give that's really not advice, but I mean, is that there's no rush. You know, when you look at these charts, you can clearly see that, you don't have to, like you say, if you think it's going to 250 or a million over time, then what's the difference between 23 and 14? It's just not a big difference. So, anywhere in those ranges makes sense, long term.
I mean, the argument here is actually a different one. It's that all trading has a time preference, okay? And so let's say that, for example, you say, look, I'm going bullish here. I'm buying Bitcoin at 23, and it's a 10-year hold. Yeah, cool. And you ask me, I go, yeah, I wouldn't do it myself like that, but what day in 10 years? Now, if 4 weeks later we're sitting sub 10K, can you stomach that? That's the question to ask yourself.
Yeah. Can you stick with it?
Because if you stick to your thesis that I'll look at price in 10 years, easy to say until you get the drawdown. And if you can, I'd go, do you want to know? I don't really think it's going to make a substantive difference, personal opinion. What price you buy in and around here, even if we go to kind of 10K, which is I think is still highly possible, and can be disproven by price fairly soon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And again, think of it as a chessboard rather than a boxing competition. Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, some mental framework to what type of game are we playing here? Yeah. And I think that the way you can control those kind of, fucking candle chasing urges is to go, look, it's a chess game. Yeah. Plenty of time between making moves. That's all. And that's, again, the way I trade. I'm old, I'm slow, I'm a boomer, I'm a dirty Bitcoin actually. bloody. Okay. But you want to know the difference is every day I print some profit. Okay. So
there you go.
Just take it easy. Okay.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Well
man.
said. Well said.
Thanks so much, Shaun.
Guys,
as always,
I will be coming back a full-on recursive loop fucking degen yield farmer this time next week.
I sent you some conservative projects, so I think I'm going to send you some really degen shit too. No, Joe, you've been talking about a couple of those.
Dude, send me that 20,000 X, APR shit. That's what I want to play with.
So everybody
genuinely looking forward to it. Okay.
Yeah, so anybody listening too, put it in the. Did we set up a sub channel in the chat or the Telegram chat, Brad? That would be just this.
We didn't, but we could.
Yeah, if we set that up, then everybody jump in and put your best.
We have a degen. We have a degen channel.
Okay.
Full degen channel. That's
because I will probably need some actual practical help on what the fuck to actually do.
Yeah.
I mean that. No, I'm going to get into it tomorrow. I'm going to start playing. I have my my Russian oligarch coins ready to play with, and
that's awesome, dude. That's so awesome.
And, I'm ready for some entertainment. Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. Shizzy says the second biggest exchange and hedge fund exploded just to get us to 15K. A nuke would have to get us off to get to sub 10K. And Niblet says, tune into DeFi discussions tonight for some shallow left-hand discussion. All right. Yeah, everybody check out DeFi discussions with Niblets and Shizzy.
What time is that tonight, guys?
Yeah.
8:30?
Post a link. Hey, Shizzy and Niblets, post a link in the general Telegram group so everybody knows where to tune in and what time.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, Shaun, that's awesome. Joe, I've got I got a call in 5 minutes.
Cool.
And then I think you and I have one at 1:30. So
yes.
Shaun, I always appreciate you coming on, and I think you're giving us so much good wisdom. Shizzy says it's 8:30 this evening, and you can search on DeFi discussions on YouTube, or he'll post it in the general department at the Telegram channel, which is t.me/mission DeFi. Shizzy, Niblets, Euphoric, Amen. All of you, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate and love you guys. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please take 2 minutes to rate and review us. On YouTube, Joe would like you to smash that thumbs up, and we would also appreciate you subscribing and turning on the alerts bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Join the discussion, t.me/mission DeFi. We're having a lot of fun over there. Shaun is dropping all kinds of wisdom bombs, and we're outlining here for you every Friday a smarter way to think about your investing and trading. So I would highly recommend you pay attention, because I think it's the kind of information that every new trader should have, that Shaun's distributing for everybody. So appreciate it. That's all I got today, gentlemen. Shaun, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. I shall see you as a fully fledged DeFi shitcoiner next Friday.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome, buddy. Have a great day.
Take it easy.
All right, see you later, Shaun.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, man.